What's up, Moneyball fam? Hope everybody's doing great on this Sunday evening. This is your host, D Money, Donovan Scott. Tonight, I have no J Ball, so I'm flying solo, but I do have a very, very special guest with us. I have the Buffalo Soldier. I have Nate Burnard of UFC fame and Slap League fame. What's up? Thanks for coming on. How you doing?
Thank you. Appreciate you. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you very much. Kind of, playing a little tag as far as getting you on. So I'm real happy that we actually have the opportunity now to do so. So first and foremost, man, who's this guy?
It's a funny story, man. That's the guy I ended up, TKOing after the first round. And we have a cool story, a little history behind us. So this was my first actual power slap. This was my first debut. So it was my first time getting into it. And I get a call that I got accepted and everything. So that was cool.
Now, how does that, let me just segue you one second. How does that work? Like, from what I heard, there was a story that you and your dad were sitting around one day watching it.
Yeah. So I'll start. Yeah, I'll start it from the jump if you want.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, I got to hear this.
Yeah, so I go to my folks' house one night, and we're just chilling, watching shows, just hanging out.
Yep.
And get on YouTube, and there's this thing called Powerslap. This was a good 3 months ago now.
Okay.
And we're watching the Powerslap. These two guys just rocking each other back and forth, And my dad looked at me. He said, "You should do it." I said, "Hell no."
Just like that. Your dad just saw it and he's like, "You should do it."
He's like, "You should do this." I'm like, "No way." And he's like, "No, for real, you should do it." So he was badgering me like for the next couple days about it. And he ended up sending me a link. So I signed up, and then immediately as soon as I signed up that next day, I got an email. They wanted my height, weight, all them credentials.
Yep.
And then I didn't hear from them. So I just went about my business. I went back to, continue working out, hanging out with friends and everything. And as soon as that was done, it took about 2 weeks before the fight. I get a call from the talent manager while I'm working out. And she says that.
So this is the first time you've heard from them.
First time I heard from them, other than the email.
Okay.
They call me. They say, "Hey, this is Erica from Powerslap. We want to get you down here as soon as possible for a fight." And I said, "All right, cool, let's do it." So they handled, through the next 2 weeks of preparation, I was going all over Buffalo to do, all my medical and everything like that. They wanted to make sure I was all taken care of. And then when we got to it, closer to the date that I had to leave, I get a text message and I find out who I'm fighting. So his name was Stevie Ray Payne, and he's actually an Oklahoma native. Now, I went to school and I played football in Oklahoma.
I saw that. Yeah. That's where I was actually going to go there next, but this all is a segue. Yeah.
So I played football in Oklahoma, and then he actually messaged me on Instagram, and he almost went to the same school that I went to. So Did he play
ball too?
So he played ball himself as well.
Okay.
And he almost went to the same spot that I was at. And we just hit it off from there. Like, it was cool. We're both new to it. We don't know what's going on with Powerslap.
Was this his first fight as well?
This was his first one. So we're first both debuting.
Wow. Okay.
And then we hit it off as soon as we got to Vegas. Me and him were chopping it up and everything like that. I was meeting a lot of the folk down there. And then when we got to the fight, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to put somebody down. That's what you're there for.
That's it.
So that's what happened. So now his face is on a lot of things now.
Oh my God, including my kids' bedrooms.
Yeah.
So this is like the slap heard around the world, man. It's just wild how, I mean, you're talking within 3 months, something you might not even have knew existed, right?
No, 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 not at all.
To being the guy. I mean, your face, man. If you want to pull up Slap League, anything right now, you're the guy.
Yeah,
And
it's blown up. I mean, not to cut you off or nothing, but
no,
I
no,
mean,
no. Go ahead.
as,
I'm here. I'm here to listen to you.
yeah, as soon as the fight was over, my phone was blown up, and then the concourse of weeks after, I mean, I'm seeing my slap on World Star. I'm seeing it on, obviously their page is promoting it a lot. I'm seeing on Twitter, and I'll be going throughout my day. I saw a few people downtown, or I was even at the old HSBC First Niagara Center for
Hmm.
WWE, and somebody
Okay.
came up to me because they recognized me from Powerslap, you know.
Okay.
And dude, it's just blowing up. So, and that was my first one, so I was just humbled even to be there, you know. And this is just crazy.
How old are you, Nate?
25,
So you're a young buck, man. So this
you know.
this is going to open so many doors.
Yeah,
And obviously you were already an athlete. I mean, I think I read what 6'5", 260,
yeah, 6'5", 265 on the nose, yo.
right? So pretty big cat. And you played ball, high school, collegiately. Like, what is your background with sports?
I mean, I've been playing football most of my life. Um, in high school, I dabbled in basketball and track, but football was my main thing. I had a few injuries in high school that I really only played 2 years of high school
Okay.
football. So I did freshman year and senior year, and then I took a break. I took a break outside of football, and as soon as I graduated high school, I went to Africa for 2 years
Did
to
you
do
really?
yeah, I did a mission trip over there. So I was, spreading the good word and building irrigation systems and homes and living there straight 2 years. Like I could have came back anytime, but I was there roughing it the whole time.
Oh my God, my man. Tell me more about this. You know who you're gonna get along with Stevie J real well, man. This guy
Okay.
is you're right on his page. Tell me more about how you kind of came about doing that. Where did you
Mhm.
go exactly? And was it with a specific organization?
Yeah, so it was with my church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So I went with them. And what I mean, my pops himself, he went on a mission trip too. So pretty much how it goes, if you want to go on a mission trip, you just you fill out some forms and everything, and then you send it in, and then you wait. It's a special, like it's a letter, right?
Yeah,
It's a big thing. It's real fun. Friends and family come because they want to see where you're going.
yeah.
So I was originally called to go serve people in Botswana and Namibia. Now, however, I couldn't go there during that time because they were, Namibia and Botswana weren't allowing U.S. citizens in their countries.
And they got some civil unrest there too, right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
So I couldn't go in there. So I was transferred to, um, I was transferred to California. So I was there for about a good 6 weeks. I was in Watts and Compton. So
Okay.
I was doing the same thing, a lot of humanitarian work over there.
Okay.
And then I get a call like on Christmas, say, "Hey, your visa's approved, but we're not sending you to Botswana and Namibia. You're now going to Zambia and Malawi." So Zambia and Malawi are the third and fourth most poorest countries in Africa.
Wow.
Now I get that call, and then I call my folks. I told them the deal, and it was literally the next day. I went there, and I mean, I'll tell you, I be telling everybody about it. It was one of the most humbling experiences I've had in my life, and it really shared. Um, it holds a big place in my heart because a lot of people they'll travel and go on vacation, but to go for 2 years or even just an extended period of time to just go help other people,
Yeah.
that's big, man. So
Enormous.
it was huge, man, and I enjoyed it. I endured a lot. I mean, I went there. I was about 240 out of high school. I went there. I the lowest weight the lowest weight I got was about 176
Are you kidding me?
just from walking.
You were
From six,
176.
yeah, yeah. So the lowest weight I got, pictures of me when I was over there is not what you see now, you know?
Oh man,
And
that's like, I mean, that's 100 pounds.
yeah, so I mean, and it was through the course of them years. So it was big. I mean, a lot of it took place with just the food we're eating,
Yep, yep.
um, sicknesses I got. I mean, I got malaria twice.
Did you really? Yeah. See, I was
Yeah,
going to ask you that
you
too.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
And they gave us all these medicines that we take prior, so we don't, so we're less susceptible to get them. But I mean, it's gonna happen if it
Right,
happens, you know. Um, but a lot of it too, we were living how they live. So we would go ahead and walk, we would live in some houses were a little better than others,
right,
but then some of the spots were, the slums, how they live. And we didn't have cars. Some of our guys had cars if they were like uh because we had a mission president who like overseed everybody,
right, right.
and some people had cars. A lot of us, we were just walking, so we would take buses or take bikes. And
And
I mean,
correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, it's not like you're talking about throughways or highways either,
oh
right?
no,
These
no,
are dirt roads, right?
yeah, you're talking. I mean, the city I was in most of the time was Lusaka in Zambia, and I mean they have roads, they have stop. They don't really have stoplights or anything, but they have roads and buses and transportation. But you go 10 minutes outside of the city, that's where you're going to hit all the dirt roads and the mud houses and
Yeah.
things like that. So it was definitely a humbling and trying time. But I mean, the lessons I learned when I was over there, I mean, I can't take back them 2 years for nothing, you know?
I'll tell you what, man, hats off to you there.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I
you.
mean, that story is absolutely amazing. It's funny, even hearing this from you because these two knuckleheads that are in this room with me, right? My 9 year
Hmm.
old and my 7 year old, they don't understand that life, right? And
Yeah.
you know what? There's 54 or 55 countries in Africa,
Hmm.
and with the exception of South Africa, most of these countries rely on whatever resource they're mining or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
And you have like 3% of the population who has anything remotely close to what Americans would have, and the rest are exactly what you're describing.
Hmm.
And I mean, for you to go over there and live that life says a lot, number one, about your character and the type of person you are, and the fact that you want to help other people. And I think it's absolutely amazing, man. I mean, if I ever had an opportunity, life kind of, I don't know if you have kids or what your story is, but
Yeah.
life catches up and gets in the way real quick, right? And you could say excuses, or whatever, but to be able to do something like that, man, I just think that's amazing. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
um, really, I mean, that's excellent. It says absolutely, a ton about your character. So you do that when you're what? Were you 22?
I was 18. I was
Oh, you
right
were
out of high
18.
school.
Oh, okay, so this is some years back. Okay,
So this was some years back, right out of high school. I had a few colleges that I was looking at. I wanted
okay,
to go to. I wanted to go to UB. I wanted to go to Utah State. Because my pop, that's his alma mater. So I was
okay.
gonna go
Now
there.
did he play ball?
He didn't play ball. He filmed. So the story is crazy. I mean, our family is just travels, you know. So he's originally from Utah. Um, and he went to school, I think, for photography, and then talked to the head coach at Utah State and asked, "Hey, can I go ahead and film your practices?" Now, this was back in the day when they didn't have anybody filming their practices,
Right, right, right.
and they're just like, "Yeah, I mean, we ain't gonna pay you." He's like, "Yeah, it's no problem. Let me see what I can do." So he was filming their practices, and then the coaches loved the film. They ended up, I mean, I'm sure some months or a year later or so, gave him a job. So then he worked as a uh, assistant video over there.
Okay,
Throughout that time, then he got a call from the Frankfurt Galaxy in Germany when they used to
okay.
have the NFL Europe,
Yeah, yeah.
and he went over there. He went
Mid
over there
90s
for
probably, right?
this was 2000s. This was
Okay,
2000. So
okay.
it's like a good like 2000, I think 2005, 2006 time.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't even know they were
So
still doing it then.
so he was over there, and the funny thing is, them 6 months while he was there, he's with the Frankfurt Galaxy. I mean, the team that he was on, they won the Super Bowl over there. The one of the players too that he was able to connect with, Freddie Jackson.
Was who?
Freddie Jackson.
Oh, Deuces, my man. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was able to connect with him over there, and I mean, with the life and sports and everything, it's all about connections. And
Absolutely.
he was able to, get connected with the Bills, and he's been here with as the Bills as their director in film for over 16 years now.
So, okay. So your dad right now is with them.
So it's crazy because he was with them up until like 2 weeks ago. Now he's the head director at Green Bay Packers.
Oh my gosh, man.
So
Okay. All right.
the family story and the lineage of just us and football in our life is just wild.
It is. It is. So the slap league. Let's pounce back on that a minute. You're 1-0. You go out to
Yeah.
Vegas, knock dude out. What's the next step? What do you do now? How does it progress? I see Dana White owns this joint, right? I mean, so what happens next?
So Dana White owns the Powerslap League. I mean, we all know him through the UFC, and I mean, he's a great guy. I have personally myself haven't been able to meet him yet. I know because it was for our debut. Our fight was sanctioned at the same time slot as the UFC 290 weigh-in show.
Okay.
So they were doing the weigh-ins, and then they went to our fight, went back to the weigh-ins. Now, on the main card, that's when you're going to see more of those people that are there, like Dana White, who was there at the main card.
Sure.
You're going to see them folk. So I slap him. I slap him. I win. It's done. I fly back home, and then it wasn't until that following week I get a call that I mean, she called me. She said, you're doing great. This is awesome. We're excited for you. I mean, there's a big hype about, the look that you have, the image.
Yeah.
And you completely said exactly what you were going to do. Do you want to come back down in August? I said, no problem.
Of course, yeah.
So I have a contender fight August 9th.
Okay.
So I have a contender fight August 9th. Now, with that slap alone, it being my first time being there, I'm now ranked number 4 in the world for heavyweight.
I saw that, yeah.
And the
now in part, I don't want to interrupt you, but I have to know. So would you be higher ranked because of the nature of that slap?
I think it's because of the nature of the slap. So they do a lot of scoring like boxing or like UFC, really.
Got you.
So obviously through penalties, which penalties can consist of you can't pivot your foot when you're about to hit the guy, or you can't club them, use the bottom of your palm.
Okay.
Flinching on the defensive side is a big one as well.
Okay.
So things like that. And they give you recovery time. So how much you're going to get up, all these things. Now, things like that, that's how they do the rankings, I'm sure. And I'm sure with that slap being at the first hit, I mean, that really boosted me real well.
So you haven't taken one yet. You haven't taken a blow.
It's funny. I haven't got taken one by some of these guys, but when I got the call that I was going on the Powerslap, I just called my buddies up. I said, hey, I'm going in the Powerslap. You already know what it is. I'm bringing a mouth guard to your house, and I need you to crack me.
Get out of here.
So I had 2 of my buddies come and just rock me. And there were good ones, too, and I was still standing up. So
that is amazing. That is amazing. So
I've been in contact. I've been in football. I've been in fights before. But having a grown man slap you with no retaliation, I had to see what that's like. So
yeah,
now I know.
Yeah. So imagine I can imagine one of your homeboys is sitting home and Nate calls up and he's like, hey, listen, I'm coming over and I just need you to start smacking me in the mouth as hard as you can.
Oh yeah. I mean, they at first they didn't want to do it. They thought I was tripping because they're just like, what, why? I mean, they felt bad, but I'm just like, dude, you got to do it.
Of
you know?
course, yeah. In all seriousness,
You know?
yeah, of course. Like you have to train because say you didn't, and then you're coming back, and you need to be able to take one.
Exactly.
Now, this has been going on. How long has this league existed?
This has existed for a good, I mean, it's still fairly new. I'd say a good 6 to 7 months.
That's it.
It's still fairly new. I mean, they already have 1.1 million followers on the
Oh,
gram.
people love it, bro. People
People are
love it.
loving it. The views on YouTube, Rumble especially, are just through the roof.
Yep,
You
yep. I
know?
mean, I showed my wife. She had no idea what it was, and I said, "Hey,
Yeah,
this." I said, "This is Nate. This is who I'm." And she just watched it for a minute, and she stared at it, and she looked at me, and she was like, "Hold on a minute. What? What was that?"
yeah,
So for a lot of people, they don't understand it, right? I get it.
100%.
There's always things coming out new and innovative and
Yeah,
creative. You need to be an athlete, number one, to take the hit or to deliver the hit. And you're not doing it for free, right? There's a purse
yeah.
involved, you
There's a
know.
purse, yeah.
And obviously the more popular the sports get, the more, the more sponsors, the more TV
Mhm.
time and everything else. And you do have a face for it. You're the type of
Yeah.
guy that people want to see. Where'd the Buffalo Soldier come from? It's beautiful. Is it a Bob Marley thing or is it a
It's I'd say it's a Bob Marley thing. I'd also say, kind of representing Buffalo in another sense as well.
yeah,
I'm also putting it back to the original Buffalo Soldiers, that were in the war.
okay.
Their motto was "We will, we can,"
Really? Okay.
and that's, I mean, that's big. I'm a big history guy. I like to learn things all the time.
I am too, man.
So I was actually listening to Bob Marley the day that they were calling me and say, "Hey, I don't know if you wanted to just go with Nate Bernard, if you wanted to have a nickname." And I'm just like, "Yo, let me rock with Buffalo Soldier. I mean, that's where I'm from, so why not?"
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's
So
perfect. And
I had to
and kind
rock it
of
that way.
everything Marley stood for too, man. That peace, love, harmony, right? And you
Hell
going to
yeah.
Africa, and it's absolutely fitting. It's perfect for you.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
think sky's the limit, man. And what are your long-term goals? What are your long-term goals and aspirations?
Long-term goals, I mean, through within the power slap, I mean, I want to be as dominant as I can. I mean, as I was saying before, I've got this match that's coming up August 9th, and he's the number one contender, and I'm number four. And it's big. And if I, go ahead, handle my business as it's planned to be, then the next shot's the belt, you know,
Okay.
and that will happen in October. So I mean, really, sky's the limit for me. Other than that, I really just be working, and I really just kind of be keeping myself working out, and then just mind my own business.
What's your training like in a day? I mean, obviously you do a lot of it. What's I see you chugging the gallon of water, which I need
Oh
to
yeah,
start doing way more of.
man.
What's a day of training for you, man? You're
I'd say, I mean, I go through about 2.5 gallons a day, and then I mean, I work out sometimes I mean, I really work out every day, but every now and then I'll do 2 days. So
right.
that could be a Tuesday or a Thursday. Um, my workout regimen is kind of shifted now that it's doing power slap. A lot of these guys were, um, a lot of these guys were going ahead and just like practicing with resistance bands or training for that. And they were asking me when I was down there, what do you do? I'm just like, it's either you got it or you don't. Like, it's either you can go ahead and put somebody down or you can't.
Yeah.
Now, my workout, I mean, I hit really the basics, upper body, lower body. But now with the power slap, I'm doing a lot of I'm very confident in my arm and my
Yeah.
swing.
Yeah.
Now, with my chin and my neck and my traps, that's a big thing that I've been working on more so because I'm very confident in my face and I can take a hit.
Right. Right.
But it's still making sure that I can have that confidence no matter what. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I definitely get it.
So it's a lot of resistance band training on my neck, a lot of trap workouts, a lot of neck workouts, just to make sure that when I'm bracing, I'm good no matter what. Just as the air of caution, you know.
You almost need that kind of that rotator too, right? I mean,
Mhm.
and that may be where the resistance comes in, but you got to make sure you're coming with that. Now, you guys cannot wear gloves at all, right?
Cannot wear gloves, cannot wear contacts, cannot wear glasses. All piercings gotta go. They give us mouth guards and two things of cotton to put in our ear.
Okay.
So it's interesting.
What I'm gonna do when I and hopefully you'll do the same, man, and we'll get, after I edit this thing and we'll blast it everywhere. But I also want to bring a lot of awareness to the sport,
Yeah.
And I think, like I said, I think sky's the limit with it. Couple more things, and I'll let you get out of here. I know you're a busy man. Has there ever, or have you heard stories of, right? Now, these are two grown men smacking each other in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's refs there, and the refs usually like some 5'8" guy or something, right? So like, has it gotten out of hand? Have things carried over into the locker room, or is it like been real professional?
There's been Powerslap itself. They had season 1, a reality TV show of it on TBS, and that's where a lot of the fighters that I was able to meet when I can't win in Vegas, and they had their fight scheduled up. A lot of them were on that show when it first started. I think
Okay.
that was back. I think that was back in December, January area. Now they kind of did the same setup like Ultimate Fighter. They all lived in the house. They all handled their business.
Okay.
And there were fights there
Yeah.
that happened through just through some bad apples. But with a lot of the guys here, I've realized it's kind of almost like when I was doing track in high school. It's a very big. It doesn't matter who you are. It's a big bond,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everybody is connected. Obviously, people going to talk their talk, and it's going to happen.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, we all know that we're all there for the same reason, and it's to get it done. But I don't think that there is much of a toleration for actual fighting when it comes to outside of the slap itself.
See, and that's what I love about things like that. There's a brotherhood. You're
Yeah.
always going to have a couple of bad apples, like you said, who either the ego gets in the way or they're too narcissistic, right? And they think that this is just the way that they're better. But in the long, you get 8 or 9 out of 10 that know that this is a brotherhood, that this is serious, and you're in it for the long term. When is this fight now? August 9th, and where is it at? And what's it on? And
Okay, so it's gonna be August 9th in Las Vegas, Nevada. It'll be at the UFC Apex Arena.
what is it?
UFC Apex Arena.
Okay.
And it will be streamed on Rumble. That's a big app that they're using to stream it.
Yep.
And really just tune in. I believe it will be at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure I get that out there as well. Again, man, I can't thank you enough for coming on. This was a lot of fun. I'm gonna end it here with rapid fire.
All right.
All right. So I'm gonna bring in my main man, Deacon. Come on in, buddy. Kind of something new I'm trying, man. So we were doing all the rapid fire, just normal stuff, and now I'm saying I want the show to be a little different. So I'm letting my kids do the rapid fire.
As you should, yeah.
Thank you. He came up with 3 questions. So This is the Buffalo Soldier right here, right? The guy I've been telling you about, right? Yeah. So introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Deacon Scott. I don't know what I do in my free time. Yeah.
Hey, that's okay with me.
Let's hit him with the rapid fire. He's got 3 questions for you, Nate. Go ahead.
All
right. Drums or wings for chicken wings?
Ooh, wings.
Wings. He's a wing guy. We're getting a lot of wing guys lately, and I'm a drum guy. Go ahead, too.
Do you get nervous when you're the one about to be slapped?
I haven't got slapped yet, other than by my buddies, but I'm sure a little nerves will kick in, but I think we'll be fine.
It's a good question.
That's a good question. It really is.
What's your third?
What inspired you to get into the business of slapping?
I said my dad. He's always been wanting to, put his 2 cents in a lot of things and, push me to the next spot. He's done that with football and, a lot of things in my life. So him sending me that link to sign up, that was a big inspiration.
To me, that's just one of the coolest stories. And you've been listening, right? One of the coolest stories, is just that you guys, and it wasn't, hey man, you should get into this. And you were like, yeah, okay, dad, you know, pass me the Doritos. It was like,
Yeah.
maybe you did, but he wasn't having it. You know, he was like, no, man, really, you should.
Yeah.
And he pushed you and he pushed you and here we are.
Yeah. I mean, he pushed and pushed, and he was real irritant about it. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it worked out. And I mean, the man's got more wisdom than I would understand in my whole life.
For
You
sure,
know,
man.
so it worked
Well,
out.
a lot of it's rubbed off on you. You're definitely a cerebral guy, and you know, I can tell in just speaking with you, man, that there's huge potential here, and sky's the limit for you, bro. So
Thank you. I
I'm
appreciate
really,
you.
really excited for what the future holds. So August 9th, it's gonna be slapping again. And you know, again, I'm looking forward to sitting down with you too, and we're gonna politic with a few of us, and we'll keep in touch there. So thanks again for everything, for coming on.
No doubt. Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, you got it, man. You have a great night, okay?
All right, you as well.
All right, see you, my man.
Yeah, well.